The moment the story started circulating online, it didn't take long before it exploded across fan communities. One simple idea, Jungkook secretly renovating a room for Jimin, was enough to send waves through the internet. But what truly made people stop, rewatch, and talk nonstop wasn't just the gesture itself. It was Jimin's reaction. Something about it felt raw, unfiltered, and deeply personal. And suddenly, fans everywhere were asking the same question: what really happened behind that moment? It all began quietly, as these things often do. No official announcement, no teaser, no grand reveal. Just whispers. A few clips. A handful of posts that seemed ordinary at first glance. But then came the realization. This wasn't just another casual moment. There was intention behind it. Care. Effort. Time. Imagine this. Jungkook, known for his attention to detail and perfectionist tendencies, deciding to do something meaningful, not for the cameras, not for content, but for someone he deeply cares about. That alone changes how we view the situation. Because when someone like him puts energy into something this personal, it's rarely random. Fans began dissecting everything. The design choices, the atmosphere of the room, the small details that might go unnoticed by most people. Was that Jimin's favorite color? Did that decor have a hidden meaning? Was there a memory tied to a specific object placed in the room? And then comes the bigger question. Why keep it a secret? There's something incredibly powerful about surprises, especially when they come from a place of genuine emotion. Jungkook didn't need to do this publicly. He didn't need to share it at all. Yet somehow, the moment still reached fans. And that's where things get interesting. Because when something private becomes public, even unintentionally, it reveals something deeper. It shows authenticity. Now picture the moment Jimin walks into the room. There's a pause. A brief second where reality hasn't fully registered yet. His eyes scan the space, taking everything in piece by piece. And then, his expression changes. That's the moment everyone is talking about. It wasn't overly dramatic. It wasn't staged. It was subtle, but incredibly telling. A mix of surprise, disbelief, and something softer, something more emotional. The kind of reaction you can't fake. And fans noticed. They replayed it, slowed it down, zoomed in, trying to understand what exactly made that reaction feel so different from anything they'd seen before. Was it the way his eyes widened just slightly? Was it the quiet smile that followed? Or was it the silence? The kind that speaks louder than words? Because sometimes, the most meaningful reactions aren't loud. They're quiet. They linger. And that's what made this moment unforgettable. But beyond the surface, there's a deeper layer worth exploring. What does this say about their dynamic? About their bond? For years, fans have admired the connection between them. The way they support each other, challenge each other, and grow together. But moments like this add a new dimension. They show effort, thoughtfulness, a willingness to go beyond what's expected. And that raises another question. How often do we see gestures like this in the public eye? In an industry where everything is scheduled, planned, and often scripted, genuine moments stand out more than ever. They feel rare, almost fragile. That's why this resonated so strongly. Because it didn't feel like content. It felt like real life. Of course, with any viral moment, there are different interpretations. Some fans see it as a simple act of kindness. Others believe it carries deeper emotional meaning. And then there are those who just appreciate it for what it is. A beautiful moment between two people who share a close bond. But isn't that the beauty of it? Everyone sees something different, yet everyone feels something. And maybe that's why it spread so quickly. Not because of the scale of the gesture, but because of the emotion behind it. Think about it. In a world where we're constantly scrolling, constantly consuming content, what actually makes us stop? It's not always the biggest, loudest moments. Sometimes, it's the quiet ones. The ones that feel real. And this felt real. Fans began sharing their own thoughts online, and the reactions were immediate. Words like heartwarming, unexpected, and genuine kept appearing. Some said it made them emotional. Others admitted they couldn't stop smiling. But there was also curiosity. What led up to this? How long did it take? Did Jimin have any idea? The mystery adds another layer to the story. Because when we don't have all the answers, we start filling in the gaps ourselves. We imagine the process, the planning, the small moments leading up to the reveal. Maybe Jungkook spent days thinking about how to make it perfect. Maybe he changed things multiple times, trying to get every detail just right. Maybe there were moments of doubt, wondering if Jimin would like it. And then, finally, the reveal. That single moment where everything comes together. And Jimin's reaction? It made it all worth it. There's something universally relatable about that. We've all had moments where we've done something for someone else, something thoughtful, something meaningful, and waited for their reaction. That anticipation, that hope. And when the reaction is genuine, it stays with you. That's what people connected with. Not just the idea of a renovated room, but the emotion behind it, the intention, the care. And in a way, it reminds us of something important, that even in a fast-paced, highly public world, small acts of kindness still matter. Thoughtful gestures still matter. Genuine reactions still matter. So maybe the real reason this moment went viral isn't just because it involved two global stars. Maybe it's because it tapped into something deeper, something human. Because at the end of the day, it's not about the room. It's about what the room represents. Effort, connection, understanding. And that's something everyone can relate to. As the conversation continues, one thing is clear: this moment isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Fans will keep analyzing it, discussing it, and finding new details to appreciate. But maybe the most important takeaway isn't hidden in the details. Maybe it's right there on the surface. A simple act, a genuine reaction, and a reminder that sometimes the smallest moments can have the biggest impact. So what do you think? Was it just a thoughtful surprise, or something more? And if you were in Jimin's position, how would you react? Let me know your thoughts, because moments like this aren't just meant to be watched. They're meant to be felt.